Hello everyone, this is Candy the 614 Stitcher, and today is Sunday, March the 16th, 2025. This is my Flosstube episode 138. I would like to say hello and welcome to any and all new subscribers. I thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule for coming and checking me out and seeing if I could interest you in a project or two. And for my returning friends, thank you so very much for coming back each and every time I do upload a video. It's been an interesting week. Sorry, I'm not comfortable in my chair. Not too much going on, just I'm still continuing with my Planet Fitness. Now I've made my hair messed up. My Planet Fitness journey and walking, trying to eat a little better, you know, all the things when you get to a certain age that you try to work on. So that's about it. And I have done some stitching. The weather has been great down in eastern North Carolina. I am still in North Carolina. I'll be here for a while. So again, thank you all for those of you that continue to send your condolences and your heartfelt sympathies. I really do appreciate it. We're getting along. I will be traveling back to Ohio in a few weeks to do the memorial for her in the town that she was born and raised in, Columbus, Ohio. And so I'll be going back to honor her memory in Columbus at her former church in a couple of weeks. So there'll be a couple of weeks where you may not see me, so don't be concerned. It's just one of the things that I have to take care of, and so we'll be okay with that. Well, I'm going to get into some stitching. I have some starts, I have some whips, I have a finish, and I have some I have one piece of investment thanks to a dear friend going to a stitch shop and sending me something. And then I have some plans that I would like to speak to you about. So let's just jump right in and get started. We're gonna start with the starts. I actually had 3 starts this week. I didn't plan it. I guess kind of I did plan it that way, but then I didn't really plan it that way. It's strange. Anyway, so the first thing that I started was, I'm still working on the Zodiac for my son, Pisces, but then I started the other Zodiac for my other son, and he is a Gemini. And so I started that. And I will be going to a retreat later on this week. And so I got this I prepared this so that I could work on it on the airplane. I plan on doing a lot of filling in. This blue color is a lot of fill in all the way around. So I am working on getting it prepped for fill in stitching when I go, because it doesn't take up very much space. I'm going to load up 3 different needles with the color. So when I finish with one needle, I can just grab the next needle and keep going. And then when I do my layover in Atlanta, when I do my layover in Atlanta, hopefully I'll have enough time to reload those 3 needles and continue on stitching. So hopefully next week you will see a lot of progress into this project. Again, this is Gemini by Mill Hill, and I'm using the kit perforated paper and all of the threads. I am going to be taking my oldest son's, the Pisces one, with me so that I can work on some beading while I'm at the retreat also. The retreat is very low key. It's in Indiana, so it's not like I'll have a lot of time to just work on whatever I want to work on. So The next start that I had was Christmas Etchings, and it is by Heart and Hand. And that is what this looks like. And I am not stitching them as one piece. I'm stitching them individually. So I started with the bell. And I am stitching this on a 36 count fabric that someone gifted me since I've been down here. So it was in my stash. And here's where I am now. That is the top part of the bell. Ooh. Sorry, I got something in my eye. I am using, I wish now that I was that I had used the called for DMC colors, because the color doesn't flow down very well. I did try to make it flow down, but I am using for two of them, I'm using the Classic Colorworks, and for one of the colors I don't have in Classic Colorworks, so I'm using the DMC color. So that is where I am now. It was a pretty quick stitch. Oh, let me go back for 1 second. For the Mill Hill, I put in 145 stitches. And for the Heart and Hand, I put in 143 stitches. So my goal for starts is 200 stitches. So I'm sure I'll get that in at some point. It doesn't have to be like this month, but maybe next month or the month after, whenever, because it's 200 stitches for the year. So, or 200 stitches for the start. So if I pick this up another time during this month, which is probable, then I'll get the 200 stitches in. My little thing is caught on it. Whoa. It has a little tiny snowflake charm on it, and it's caught in between the okay, hold on. Okay, crisis averted. It just wound itself right into the spiral on my notebook, and so I had to like unspiral it to get it out. So that was Christmas Etchings by Heart and Hand. And the next new start I had was on yesterday. This is my second time working on a Dimensions kit. This was a gift from Carolyn Zook for Christmas. And I know that she is doing a kit for her birthday start this year. So I am joining in on her working on a kit. And this is Dimensions Butterfly Dream. And I have a pretty good start on this. I actually put in 304 stitches on this project yesterday. And seeing that it's a Dimensions kit, I'm super proud of myself because there is a lot of moving around. So this is on a 28 count. I decided to use the 28 count instead of the Ada because of the amount of back stitching that is in it. I thought that that would help me some, seeing that I'm not the best at back stitching, but that the even weave would help me better. So this is a 28 count Blue Moon by Color and Cotton, and I'm sorry, it seems to be blowed out. The weather is very cloudy and rainy. We actually had thunderstorms. So, and there is where I'm at now. So this will be for Carolyn's birthday start. Her birthday is not until next week, but she started a kit for her birthday. And right now, this is just 2 colors. I still have way more to go. But I was really pleased when I counted up the stitches and saw that it was 304 stitches. that I already have put in. Sorry, I'm writing a note. So that is where we are now. I wasn't for sure if that was going to really show up all that well, but it does. And then once I put the back stitching in, it'll be even better. So those were my starts for this week. Let me show you the color palette for Butterfly Dreams. It's very, very pretty. Nice and springy. I am using the Annie's Keepers kit. I have just started putting my floss. I've had the kit since I went to Oregon last year. I bought it at Acorns and Threads, but with everything going on, I haven't had the time to put into getting started putting the flosses on the rings. So I actually did some of that yesterday. So those were my new starts. Whips. I worked on a couple of whips this past week. This first whip is in, and it is the A in Sparkle for artists formerly known as. And it is Purple Rain by Heaven and Earth Designs. And that is what it'll look like when it is completed. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where I am now. So I added 502 stitches to this project, and they are all, so I worked on bringing some more of the confetti down. One of my friends suggested that I do like, you know, every time I pick this up, I do like 100 confetti stitches and then do some blocks of color so that I don't get bored with trying to put in all of the confetti that I've neglected. So what I did is I went in and I found a block of confetti, and I did just work on that because most of the confetti stitches that are in it are the same color. So that's going to work going forward. And then what I did is I did a block. So like all of this over here. And then I came down and put in a 10 by 10 block here. And I liked that. So I may continue to do the block, 10 by 10 blocks. Especially with trying to get the confetti in. So what I might do next time is come over here and start trying to bring this down to make it even. The other issue with this project is right now, I don't have all of the threads for it, and I don't want to purchase the threads because I have them all in Columbus. So when I go back for my mom's memorial service, I'm going to make sure that I grab, now that I'm saying that out loud, you know, sometimes I've gotten to the age now where when I think of something, I need to write it down. So I have to write this down. So Purple Rain threads. And then that way I'll have all of the threads here, because when I initially kitted this up, I only put on the threads on the floss keeper that like were up here, all of these threads across here. Well, now as I come down, I need more and more the anchor flosses that are still in Columbus. So as I come down, I'll be able to do those 10 by 10 chunks of ninja stitches. So, but there's where I'm at, and I did do the bulk of the work here. in this section. You can see I still have one ninja stitch way up here, and that's a color that I don't have, which I should just go ahead on and just use a color that is right there, because you're not going to be able to tell the difference, but that's where it's at now. And I am so pleased. I put in 500 stitches. I am well on my way, on my goal to 5,000 stitches. I've put in over, so far this year, I've put in over 2,000 stitches on this project already. So it'll be great. I did take a beginning picture for 2025. So at the end of 2025, I'll be able to show you where it was when I started working on it and where it's ending up. So that was the A in Sparkle, and I put in 502 stitches. The next project I worked on was for Whip Go, and that was Kaleidoscope by Holt. And if you recall, you just saw this last week, I think. This is it's in this book. And here's a picture of what it will look like. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here it is now. So here's where it's at now. So I added in another 134 stitches. My Whip Go goal is 500 stitches, and I put in this small block right here. So I still have, I don't know how many I still have left to put in. A little under 200 left to put in here for this block for the for my Whip Go goal. This is on my year of whips. I do plan on getting it finished this year. So I might wait until I get back from the retreat to pick this up and throw in those last I would say about 150 stitches. Yeah. So that is where it is now. I'm stitching this on a 18 count white Ada with the called for DMC colors. Holt uses a lot of DMC in her cross stitch patterns, which is great because you don't have to worry about trying to see if you have all of the colors and everything. Now that was for my Whip Go. The next project that I worked on was for having stitched on in 2025, and that's a Whippagory. That is the brainchild of Sammy J on Flosstube and Instagram. And here is a, it is out of the Just Cross Stitch magazine. I cannot get that light right today. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. So I decided when I first started this project that I would make the rain all purple. So there are different shades of purple, and that's what I've been doing. So I actually put in a lot of work. I thought that I was going to take this with me for the retreat. Let me get the information for you. I am stitching this on a 28 count periwinkle by Color and Cotton, and I'm just using a variety of different purple threads to make all of the rain purple. See what I did there? So all of the rain will be purple, and then the umbrella and the lady are black and white, just 310 and blanc. So I put in, this is the ending point here for the rain coming down from the sky. And then I put in I've added some hair to complete her hair out. And then I put in all of the white stitches so that I could put her legs. And this is part of her skirt here. I put in a couple of white stitches here for the umbrella, and I brought another rain down here. I missed one. I don't know what I was thinking, but I missed one, so I have to go back in and put that in. I added 283 stitches for this project, so it can technically go away for the year now. But because I only have 50 projects here, the likelihood that you'll see it again is very strong. So there's where I am on that. And I do enjoy this project a lot. It's one of those projects where if I would just work on it, I probably could get it done fairly quickly. But again, when you have, a lot of projects, you just want to, and I'm, changed up my goals this year to make it be where I'm going to touch all of the whips that I have with me. It makes it difficult to just focus on one and keep on going. So hopefully with the acrostics and everything, I'll be able to add her back in again and get some work put on her. The next, why is that a letter K? Oh. The next project that I worked on was for the letter K in Sparkle. And I'm sorry, Sparkle is the acrostic for the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge group that I'm in. It is ran by Carolyn Zook and Robin. Her name is not Hall anymore. Robin. Sorry, Robin. And so I participate in that acrostic and theme every month. And so Sparkle was the word, and K, it stands for chronic, which is what I'm working on now. And here is where she is, or this is a mock-up of what she will look like. Of course, I am doing a hair and skin conversion on her. And here's a picture of what she looked like when I last shared her with you. And here is where she is now. And I'm sorry, you can't really see. Let me see if I can hold this light down. Maybe you can see it a little better. Okay, yeah, a little bit. So I worked on putting in this wing here, and for the wings, I am using 763. Now that I say that out loud, I'm like, yeah, 762, and a chronic filament. So it has a little bit of sparkle. Unfortunately, the light is blowing it out, and you can't see that. But I put in her décolleté, her neck, and her head, face. And I put in this wing here. I worked a little bit more on this wing over here also. I added 150 stitches to this. It is on my year of whips. I have now, with the adding of the wings, I still have a lot of quarter stitches to put in around her wings. I have both of her legs to put in, her hair, and a ton of beads. And so I'm still progressing nicely on this. I do plan on having it finished. This is on my year of whips, so I will have it finished. This is by Nora Corbett, and it was initially in, I don't know if they ever put it on a chart, but it was initially in a cross stitch magazine that was gifted to me by Julie. And so I have been steadily working on this project. I do plan on getting it done. The holes that you see here are all for beads. And she actually has a crown of beads off of her head. There's beads all throughout the flower. So I've just been working along. And I'm not minding the chronic. I'm using one strand of chronic to one strand of floss. So it's not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. You know, you hear different things about chronic versus petite treasure braid versus diamond. Like, you know, everybody has their preference. And right now, you know, it's a small enough piece that it's not bothering me. Of course, it's also a filament. It's not an actual color. So, you know, it goes along nicely. So that was K in Sparkle. On, what day was that? So we had a full moon this week, and that was on Friday the 14th. And so I worked on, now it looks yellow in here. I worked on Fox and Rabbit, Queen of the Night. And here's a picture of where it was when I last shared it with you. And here is where it is now. I added 148 stitches to this project. And what I did was I filled in this line here. I brought this line, I colored in the circles. There's 4 more stitches that need to be put in there. And then I started working on this half of the butterfly. I am stitching this on a 40 count Roxy Floss Co. Night Owl, and I'm using the called for DMC colors. So I am enjoying this stitch. I'll stitch on this every month on the full moon until it is completed. So hopefully it'll be completed this year. That's my full moon, my full moon stitching. It's amazing to me all the little things we come up with to stitch. Like, oh, the first of the month, you know, the first of the month I'm gonna work on this. Well, I've come up with full moon stitching and the 29th of the month stitching. I'm sure I have some other days in there too, but those are the 2 that I'd work on every month. So now I have a big surprise for you. I have a finish. You're like, where'd it go? I worked on this project for 2 prompts this month. And the first prompt was less than 10 colors. And that was in Whippagories, less than 10 colors. And then for the second prompt, I used it for the L in Sparkle. And what I am referring to is Love and Joy. And I finished this, and it's not pressed because there's no iron in this house. My mom didn't iron. And so there's no iron here. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to go out and buy an iron. But here it is, Love and Joy. And this is by October House Fiber Arts. And I stitched 573 stitches to finish it up. I stitched this back-to-back days. I was super motivated. I had put in 237 stitches on the first day. And then when I looked at it, after I finished putting in all of the vines and all of the flowery things, I looked and all I had left was the bell. And with that, I was like, that's it. It'll be finished tomorrow. And I literally finished it the next day. So I'm super excited. I've had my first year whip finish. And I've already posted it to the group. So I am very, very excited about that. I do not know how I'm going to finish it. I don't have any ideas. I guess it could go into a frame for, you know, the Christmas season. But I am not one to frame things, so I don't know how I'm going to have it finished. Pardon me. Just yet, but I want to start getting some things finished because I have lots of pretty cross stitch pieces, but I don't have them on display for anybody to see or for me to enjoy. So that, with that, those are my starts, whips, and finishes for this week. I stitched a total of 2,346 stitches this week. So now I am going to go to my investments. Yeah. And I have just a couple of things. A good friend of mine went to Barefoot Needle Arts. She lives close to Barefoot Needle Arts, and so she was going down. She actually invited me to go, but I couldn't go. And so she picked up the thread that I need to finish my temperature turtles. So I will get to be working on that. Probably not this month. It'll probably be next month that it'll be finished. And then I have been watching Miss Shelia stitch on Break Time in Africa. And so I had her pick that up for me also. So I am going to start this. I'm not for sure just exactly when, but it will be this year. I could actually start it this month. It is a large, I think, because this is Women's History Month. I could potentially go ahead on, if I could find a piece of fabric. That's right now, that is my biggest thing, is finding a piece of fabric to put things on. It's crazy. This is actually a medium. I have a ton of fabric in Columbus, and I have very few. I only have bits and pieces that people have sent me, and I do appreciate them. Don't get me wrong. It's just like I'm looking for a green, and I don't have a green, or I'm looking for, I don't know, a blue, and you know, I need a certain kind of blue because if I use this blue, it'll clash. But anyway, thank you very much, Miss Yvonne. I appreciate you sending me this, and we will be in touch soon. I believe she also got one similar to this, and so maybe we can start it before the end of the month. So those were the investments that I have. I was not considering taking temperature turtles with me because, you know, it's back stitching, but it's not like it's straight stitching. It's not like real back stitching. So I might take that with me so that I can get it finished by this, by the end of the month. I think I only had like 3 turtles left to work on it. So we'll see about that as we're going forward. So plans for this week, I leave on Thursday morning going to retreat. So for what I'm going to do is today, Ymir actually ran a half marathon, and that is Ymir of Almond M&M's. And when Ymir runs, there's a group of us that stitch for her in support and solidarity of her running. And here's what I am stitching on. It is a Bothy Threads Candy Cane shoe. There are a group of us that started these on her last run when she ran in Chile. And so this is where mine is. And I actually did put in a few stitches on this this morning. But here's where it is now. So this is, you know, some of the green part of the shoe. I don't even know where it is on the shoe, but that's where it is. I started in the middle. So I'll be working on that a little bit today. I'm not sure just yet how many stitches I'm going to get in, but I will put some stitches in on that. Probably just like 100 or so. Because I need to make progress on what I'm taking with me, because I am doing a lot of pre-work so that I can have things at a certain point. Because I'd like to do basically fill-in stitching. So I'm going to work on that for a little while. I'm also going to put in 41 stitches on Dr. Maya Angelou at some point between now and Wednesday. I need to put in and so that I can get that off my plate for the year, or for right now. I'm going to work on Daisy, which I did not pull. It's by It's So Emma, and I'm hoping to do a little bit of outlining on the daisy so that I can take her with me and work on it at the retreat for fill-in. And I need to put in some work on City Sidewalk. It's also, I'm trying to work it to a point where it'll be just fill-in stitching when I get to the retreat. So let me show you what I do plan on taking with me to the retreat. So Miss Shelia's birthday is on the 20th. And for her birthday, we didn't start it for her birthday, but we started it together. So for her birthday, I am going to work on Garden of Zig. It will also be the first day Garden of Zig. And here is where that is right now. If you recall, I put in this last tree the last time I worked on it, and this starting part of this tree here. So that is Garden of Zig, and I'm going to work on that on the 20th. The 20th is also the first day of spring, and so I am going to work on, I'm going to have a new start for the first day of spring. And that is Spring Fling by Blackbird Designs. This was lent to me, so I need to get it back. Miss Donna, I am so sorry. I just realized I still had it, and luckily enough I have it with me, so I can go ahead on and start it. My friend Miss Donna. So I'll be starting that, and I think I'm going to use, right now, I'm not for sure, this is a 40 count Verdal by Bestitch Me, and I'm kind of torn. This is not what I want to use. I really would rather use a green. The fabric that was used in the model is called Jade, and it's a very light green. It's a 32, it was a 32 count Lugana, and I wouldn't mind stitching it on 32 count. I like 32 count, but I don't have, I have one piece of 32 count, I think, and it is very blue. So I don't know if it would look okay being on a blue or if it would clash. So like it's probably the shade of that flower right there. So it would be nice. And again, I have all of this fabric at home that's just sitting there that, you know. And then for the 22nd, which is Carolyn Zook's birthday, I am going to work on Blue Rhapsody, and mine is in purple. And here's where, oh, you know what? Oh, I bet you I can't. I was thinking maybe I could use part of this, but I don't know. Here's where it is now. I have the box completed and part of the butterfly, so I'll be working on, I think what I'm going to do is since I'll be at a retreat, I'm going to come over and start putting in the alphabets. I think the alphabets will be easier for me to work on than trying to work on the rest of that butterfly while I'm away. So I'm probably going to, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because the alphabets are not difficult at all. And there's not a whole lot of counting. It does use both shades of, so this was the model was initially stitched in blues, and I'm stitching mine in purple. And it doesn't, if I, you know, I can work around the different stitches and just stitch one color in by the way that it's looking. So I will probably not work on that box, the butterfly. I will just work on the alphabets and get some stitches in on that. And again, this is for Carolyn Zook's birthday. We started it last year on her birthday, and so I'm going to work on it again this year for her birthday. So those are what I'm planning on taking to retreat. Oh, and I'm also going to be taking both the Zodiac Mill Hill kits for work on the plane or while I'm sitting there. So I thank you all so very much for continually supporting me and this channel. I really appreciate you. I know oftentimes, you know, I kind of gloss over, or I haven't been able to really respond to, I do heart them all and I read them all, but I haven't been able to like respond to your condolences and all of that. But please know that I am truly, truly grateful and thankful for your love and kindness and support during this season. Is still fresh and raw. So, but I'm making it through. Just being here with her did my heart good, and so I needed to be here for her. So I thank you all so very much. It's your condolences and your thinking of me is really appreciated. I do appreciate it. I want you all to make sure you take care of yourselves. Start drinking your water. Start getting out and enjoying some of that sunshine. Before you know it, it'll be too hot for us to we get out, we go, ooh, the sun, the heat, and then it gets to the point where we're like, oh, the heat. So get out when you can and enjoy the sunshine and the fresh air. It'll do you good. All the vitamin D, drink up all the vitamin D you can in these while it's still cool enough to enjoy it. I am doing that every day. I am trying to get up from my computer every day and go stand outside for like 15 minutes just so that I can be in the sun and enjoy some good weather while we have it. So I appreciate you all, and I hope to record a video next Sunday when I get back in. I'm not for sure because my plane doesn't land until 5 o'clock at night. So it might be Monday before I put my next video up, but I'm sure when I put it up that you all will come back and enjoy, and I'll have a great stories to tell. I will be hanging out with Janet Jabber for the weekend, and so she is a dear close friend, and I can't wait to put my arms around her neck and hug her, squeeze her. It'll be a great time, and I'm looking forward to it. So you all take care of yourselves, get some good rest, enjoy your days, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye, everybody.